Interesting. I don't know why. Why is it? I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. I'll find it out later. But yeah, something's not working right. Good afternoon, all. Welcome in. Hello to Teapot, to Ray Louderbeck, to Viper Leo, to Stakoragord. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Everything's telling me it's good. I assume we're okay. We're there. We're something or other. Oh, that's why. That's why. I think I figured it out. Now it should work. Fixed it. Ta-da! Don't know how I changed that, but I did. So there we go. I don't remember clicking that at all, but that's probably just a point of me being tired. So there we go. Good. Fantastic. Lovely. Nice. We are there, which is fun. Okay, so a few things to get through then before we go into what's going on today. It's day 6. It's Anvil Day all day, and again, we're on one of the days where we are not expecting much in terms of new ships because, frankly, if they've snuck one in, they've got it past absolutely everyone. We don't expect it. There's been like a release day, non-release day, release day, non-release day, and we had the Wolf. In fact, we had the Alpha Wolf to be exact, and holy moly, wasn't that well received. So, Alpha Wolves arrived, all that sort of good stuff, and yeah, that's where we are. Um, Interestingly, the funding tracker is not necessarily being as, I guess, generous to um, the wolf as maybe it should be. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but of course, the Wolf being a much lower price purchase, so $126, whatever it is, 144, I think, after tax. Um, yeah, that we've got this situation where you've got a low price ship making money, so it doesn't necessarily reflect. Having said that, it is still a very successful day, it seems. It pipped the Banu Day just to the post on the strength of what is a very low price fighter all by itself. So let's just go and have a look at where we are in the funding. And that's where we are. So again, coming in at probably about 2,300,000 yesterday, somewhere in and around there. I know what I could do is I could just take the funds raised and kind of track back, right, and just do some minusing to figure out exactly how much they've made. But we are less than 400,000. Um, well, we're 318,000, just under from hitting the $900 million stretch goal, which means tomorrow, as long as it hits somewhere down here on the graph, they've made it. They made their £900 million dollar stretch goal. The gaming media will go nuts for it as they normally do. Some sites have already kind of jumped the gun, and Star Citizen is approaching this funding goal, but will hit, and people will whinge, and then rah 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 rah. So yes, very interesting. I wonder, says Teapot, if people like me bought the Ox and then upgraded to the Wolf with credits. Very, very possibly. It wouldn't have surprised me in the slightest, frankly. But that's where we are. So let's have a look. There was something I don't know. Does anyone know the announcement about the changing for the Lightning? Has that disappeared from the Spectrum or not, or am I? Is it under something else? I really can't remember. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm having some fun with my sleep at the minute, and by fun I mean it's really not. So every time you see me at the moment, I'm operating on combined about 4 hours of sleep since the last time you saw me. So things are headed south rather rapidly, and I'm struggling to obviously string a sentence together, which is just um as it normally is. But let's have a look. So basically, what I'm trying to get at here is there was an announcement put out that the way that the F8C was going to be bought was going to change. So previously, what you had to be able to do is you had to get it in a number of ways. There was the concierge, yep, getting the F8 and then the F8 executive. There was the platinum ticket, which is Pardon Event, which hasn't recurred to the best of my knowledge, but you would find a platinum ticket, a mission would be created on you, and if you could get that to a rental kiosk without losing it, you'd be given a Pledge F8. And then there was the golden ticket, which would allow you to rent it for a certain amount of time when you redeemed that at a rental kiosk, and then that then opened the way for you to be able to pledge it in the pledge store. The golden ticket requirement has now been removed, and one of the particular posts talked about people being able to redeem it as long as you had redeemed a golden ticket, which is kind of interesting, because what that might do is encourage a few more people to get hold of it, right? In a number of ways. One, it's now just available for purchase. Whether it'll be CCUable, I highly doubt. I could be pleasantly surprised, but I would highly doubt the F8C is going to be CCUable. And you know, the skin there as well being that sort of, you know, maybe temptation to go and get it, and also for those for whom finding a golden ticket has been an absolute nightmare, because I haven't found one in a long old time. I used to have a lot, but they got removed from my inventory. They were removed during one of the wipes as an item that no longer persisted. They had persisted for a long old time. But there we go. Hellos to the people I haven't said hello to yet. To Citizen Ninja, Stimpack, to Bingo Winchester, to Space Saga, to Star Sail. Welcome in all. Good to see you. So yeah, that's that. I'm really sorry. My eyes are stinging like nothing else in this world because of the lack of sleep. So I apologise if I spend a lot of this stream with my eyes shut. So there we go. Sanctuary said, the real question is what is happening on Aegis Day? The answer to that is nothing. Aegis ships will go on sale. If this is is it the Javelin that people are thinking, I would be very, very surprised. I think there's so much of the Javelin that needs to exist for the Javelin to actually be a useful ship that I don't think that's going to happen. I know people are all excited about it, but I don't see why it would come on. I know that there's the pattern of ship being released, not being released, ship being released, not being released, ship being released, not being released. But the Javelin will go on sale anyway as a time-limited hull. So there's that. Sorry, I don't think there's the the big surprise there that people are expecting. Again, I have no problem for those that, yeah, if people get it, then that's awesome. And I'll be really happy for them to get it, because there are people who have owned that ship for a long time, and I'm always for people getting their ships. I'm not entirely sure that now is the time that we're going to get that ship. I think they have plans for that ship that can't be realised with the current state of the game. So yeah, sorry, I'm gonna call negative on that one, and maybe I'll get to eat my hat. That'll be fun. So yeah, Hermes Sanctuary not entirely sure whether the Hermes was a red herring, misread by someone over at Leaks, or whether it's just not coming at this event. In retrospect, although I didn't think this or say it at the time, in retrospect, 3 ships on release day would have been a lot, and I guess not necessarily unprecedented, but 3 separate hulls that aren't variants of each other might have been a little bit much, and clearly it was, because it didn't happen. So yeah. So the Javelin Tour, yeah, the Javelin Tour at Horizon now, that's just there, it's a thing. The option for it on the left. Whether the tour's actually there, no clue. But that's where we are. So we're about 3 minutes now before the release of whatever's at Anvil, and I just want to give you guys my prediction for what the war bond is going to be. I have a feeling the war bond for today is going to be the Liberator. That's my guess. I would love it to be the Carrack, because that would fit in really well with one of my CCU chains. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be the Liberator. Decent value ship. We'll probably get I don't know, $30 off. Maybe 40 if we're lucky, but I think it'll be 30. What do you guys reckon? So, don't say eat my hat, you're already in for one sock. I am in for one sock, you're right. But that's where we are at the moment. So, Terrapin says Wiggy1. One thing's for sure, Anvil have an absolute plethora of ships. I mean, they may go for the real money grab and put the one of the Hornets up, because the Hornets are really doing well in the verse at the minute. Warborn guest Asgard says Bingo Winchester. Interesting, I like that. Maybe the Valk as well. Yeah, I don't know why. I just think, for me, I think it's going to be the Liberator. Happy to be wrong, but yeah. Hello, Delkanobi, welcome in. Wastelanders, Galron Runner, Sanctred. I know I've been talking, but hello to everyone. Welcome in all. It's really good to see you all. Jav Rumors just came out of nothing. I agree. I think that was literally pattern recognition of going release, no release, release, no release, and then A just falls on the last day. It's very unlikely to be a concept. We know that they've talked about not doing concepts. Then again, maybe they're going to go and go, surprise, Battlecruiser concept. No clue. No clue. But they did say that there were going to be no concepts this year. And they've made a thing about this being the first year of no concepts. It'd be a bit silly right now to go back on that, especially on what is an absolute bumper, and I mean bumper, year for sales. We are well now into the best year for sale, or the best year for funding that Star Citizen has ever had. And we still have the rest of this month and next month to play with. So yeah, they have sailed past previous years by some margin. They said they have one more concept, but there's no reason they couldn't sneak one or two before the one they mentioned. So here's the interesting thing. People keep kind of misinterpreting what was said. They said that the last concept that they would sell was the battle cruiser, this really, really big ship that's going to be bigger than the Javelin. They said that would be the last concept, and people have somehow interpreted that as it will be the only concept they have remaining, and that's not what they said. But what they did say during that exact same video was that there were no concepts currently in production, or like they weren't working up any concepts, right? That's a better way of saying it. They weren't working up another concept sale, and given the fact that that was said in September, they then said there isn't now enough time between now and the end of the year to prepare a concept for sale. So that's where we are. I mean, I suppose they could very, very quickly turn around a variant for base building, maybe. You know, in the same way that we have the fabrication module for the Galaxy that they said wasn't coming, and then they pedaled back on, like the Starlancer is a is a base building variant of the Starlancer that we know is coming but isn't on sale yet. They could do that with something else potentially, or for another gameplay loop. But I very much doubt it. I just don't see the need for them to do it. And obviously they have been full steam ahead on the ships that they have. Okay, the page is updated, so let's go and take a look. Oh, click through. Oh, it's because I've not updated it. My bad. Page is updated. I got talking too much. Anvil Aerospace Day. So let's have a look. Terrapin Medic. Good call. Whoever said Terrapin? Who said Terrapin? Who said Terrapin? Wiggy1 said Terrapin. Good shout. You, sir. You win. Ta-da! Terrapin Medic. Really nice ship, actually. I really like this bit here. So this armor is actually a deployable button in the cockpit, and it actually slides forward to add a little bit more protection. Feels very much like a combat extraction medic ship, which I really, really like. Backed up by the ramp and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of cool. Very, very tough. Very, very tanky. So that's where we are. And there's just while we're talking, I'm just going to check something on the other side. We're going to scoot through the ships. And basically what I won't do is I'm not going to bore you guys to death with all of the ships and talking through each individual kind of aspect, because they've been around for a long old time. Unless there's something specific that people want to talk about one ship. In that case, just pop it in chat. We can talk about that. No problems at all. What I am going to check is the rumor. I'm going to check the rumor and see if the rumor is true. So, one thing that you can do whilst we are here, owners of an F8 by whatever means, do me a favour, check your hanger. Do you have the paint yet? So for those that already own an F8C or have pledged for one, even if they've got it in buybacks, or have it through concierge, which you could argue is still pledging one, you know what I mean. There is a night weave paint coming for it as a way of saying thank you, as a way of saying you got this before everyone else, before we threw it open at pledge every single time. And they said that it's going to come for everyone that's owned it, not owned it. But then they mentioned for everyone who's redeemed the golden ticket, even if they've subsequently melted it. Now, redeeming the golden ticket gave you access to buy it. That seems to be interpreted as people that could have it. So got the paint, have the paint, got the paint, got the paint in. Okay, not in my hanger. So for those that... Does anyone have it who didn't buy it who only redeemed the golden ticket? Wiggy1 says, I got the paint with just the golden ticket, confirmed. Interesting. Yeah, so, got mine via WC. Sorry, Special, I'm being dumb. WC? Someone's going to tell me. But hello, Special. Good to see you, my friend. SC Kingdom, Andy Benson, Bad Batcher Gaming, nice. And Rooster and everyone else that I haven't said hello to. Charlie McAwesome, welcome in, guys. Good to see you. Sorry, through Wing Commander. Got you. Okay. That makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm tired. We're going to get there. Yeah, so they're trying to give you an incentive, exactly that. So I'm not seeing her in my hanger yet, but I definitely, I mean, I've given so many people golden tickets because I found a bunch, but maybe it's going to update. Maybe we'll see it a little bit later. But like I said, my intention for that ship has always been to earn her through the achievements. Oh, sorry. Through the achievements you have to do in Star Citizen. All right, sorry, Squadron 42. And I'm not going to lie, with where she is in the verse right now, that's not a hard choice. Right? She's supposed to be tanky. She's supposed to be a very effective, futuristic kind of like, almost like the 5th gen heavy fighter. Like if you're familiar with aircraft around about now, she's supposed to be up there, and she's just not. She's in not a great spot. So there we go. Paint golden ticket confirmed for me. Well, I'm really pleased. It looks like they're going around and doing that for a bunch of people, but well done, guys. That's really good news, and I'm really pleased that what they've done is they've recognised those of us that went out and got a golden ticket, as well as those that earned it through concierge and everything else that happened. I'm really pleased. What's really interesting is that someone put forward that it would be really cool if those that did the golden ticket also got hanger flare, which is just a golden ticket. So you remove the ability to redeem it at a kiosk and you just create an item that you can have in your hanger, and that's really cool because then later on down the line when you're showing some greenhorn around your hanger and they look at one of your displays and you've got this golden ticket sat there and they ask what's that, you can sit them down and tell them about the good old bad days in Alpha and how you went and earned a golden ticket or nicked one off your friends, or there were people selling them on eBay, which was absolutely nuts. I mean, I got to the stage, I had so many in my account, I was just leaving them on like steps, or counters or ASOP terminals because I had so many of my, I was like basically the golden ticket Santa, right? So I've even got the build for it. Wrong colour beard, nowhere near enough of it, but hey, I'm working on it, you know. Don't judge me. So yeah, Vindictus says, looks like the Hornet Mark II got a couple new paints. Interesting, so we'll have a look through. So like I say, Nightweaver just showed up for Bingo Winchester. I'm really, really pleased. Good. I'm really happy that they've done that as a recognition for all of us who went out and got the paints. And of course, no streamer privilege here because I still don't have mine. But it's fine, I'll check again in a little while. Hello, Asher, good to see you. Yeah, so like I said, if you want to stop and talk about any of these as we go through, please just shout it out in chat. And what you want specifically to talk about, I'm going to skip through and just stop off at the ones that I find kind of interesting or comment worthy. And I guess what we can do first, actually, let's go and have a look at the paints, because then that might spark me wanting to talk about a few things up top. But We've got some new paints, exactly as people said, for the Mark IIs. Are these backwards compatible? Just the Mark II series. So the series indicating that it will be the Tracker and the Ghost and all that sort of stuff potentially as well. The one thing, so those are the featured paints. So nothing major there. And like I keep saying to people, just check for the time limited ones. Now, time limited or limited time doesn't necessarily mean that you're never going to see them again, because a lot of the Alien paints are saying limited time, and we see them time and time again at Alien Week and that sort of stuff. So just bear that in mind as we go through. Updated my hull to a Constellation and CCU to an F8C. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't think we could CCU to F8Cs. That. Oh, you were looking to CCU to an F8C. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not one of those ships that we can. Yeah, it's unfortunate. There are certain ships for whom CCUs have never existed. Maybe they'll do it in future when the F8C stops selling. Certainly when Squadron comes out, they might then decide to do CCUs to it. I'm not sure, but at the moment, I guess they're trying to keep a little bit of mystique around that ship, regardless of how it was. Yeah, but it was never just for general sale. No, it wasn't. You're entirely correct. Yeah, unfortunately, like I say, no CCU to it, and I think that was kind of where we were going to go. So yeah, ballista, all that sort of stuff. The ballista's always worth a look because it's one of the nice stepping points in a CCU chain, because the ballista is always available to buy. It means that you can always, if you start at the ballista, you could basically knock off $140 of your CCU chain, right? Because you can go from ballista to whatever you want. So this IAE, I have bought, for example, a ballista to expanse CCU, because you can always buy the ballista, and when the expanse comes out, I just need to get to the ballista. I don't need to wait for a sale. If I was to do that to the Razor, for example, which is closer to the expanse, I've either got to buy a Razor or I need another CCU to it, because the Razor's only for sale during certain points in the year. And that's the cleverness with CCU chains. C8R Pisces. I'm not going to lie. C8R is one of my favourite ships. Great for bunkers and that sort of stuff. Yes, it's made of paper, but I really, really like it. And I think shuttles and ships that have kind of shuttle or like that shuttle idea, snubcraft, I think they're going to be able to go in and out of atmosphere much later on down the line without incurring much of a cost in terms of wear and tear and damage to components. I think larger ships are really going to struggle with that sort of stuff. Just a hunch. But that's why I kind of like. Otherwise, what's the point in having a shuttle? Do you see what I mean? That's what. Well, why would I do that when I could go down in a Galaxy Medical? Well, the shuttle's really good for that because it doesn't incur the same costs, and I think that would be a nice way to do it. Again, not saying that that's how it's going to be. That's just my thoughts on the matter. So, rate my fleet budget: F8C, F7 Mark II, Taurus, and Wolf L21, or the Alpha Wolf at F22. Mate, if that's what you're happy with, absolutely go nuts. And this is the thing, right? Is that people will sit and say, well, you've got this, that, and the other. All I would say is, as long as you've got a ship that allows you to make money on your own from day one, you'll be fine. And you've got that. And to be honest, the Taurus, I've been running that solo as a cargo ship. I'm loading things slower than if I had a crew, but she's absolutely capable of doing it. And then, as long as you're careful with like the route that you take, you can avoid most of the obvious interdiction points and get yourself to where you are. And if you're going around planets and you're trying to get to a station, most people get ambushed at orbital markers. So what I do wherever I come into a orbit is I will quantum to the major landing zone. So when it was Seraphim or wherever we were handing in, whether it was Baijini Point or Everest, I would quantum to the major landing zone, and then I would quantum direct to the station. Completely bypass the orbital markers, apart from the first one you need to go to quantum across. It's quite clever, and just avoids that whole ambush at orbital markers. So top tip for you guys. But yeah, there we go. Got it in the hangar, we said. So yes, I guess I'll just CC you to a Guardian. Yeah, Galeron. What this is demonstrating really nicely, and I'm sorry if this is what's happened, but it is a good demonstration of it. Is sometimes with CCU chains, is not necessarily applying it until you've got it complete. And that gives you a number of advantages. The first one is it means you can scrap the whole thing. The other thing is you can use those savings to go somewhere else. If you scrap it, whatever savings you have in that chain are destroyed, right? Because when you buy those CCUs back, you won't get them back at the war bond price or whatever else. You'll get them back at whatever price they are currently. So, for example, I bought the Carrack to Perseus War Bond for $25. If I were to buy that now, it would be the full 200. Or if I CCU'd up to, because of the release one, it would be $100. So that's the danger of applying the whole chain. Demoticon, hello, welcome in. Dirty Red, welcome in. Dogwalk, sure, Dogwalk. I don't know what that's in reference to, but there we go. I unlocked the Wicklow F8C, and I prefer the Mark II Hornet, a Wolf, over it. Yeah, at the moment, it's definitely in a point where it's not great in-game. I have confidence they will fix it, but there we go. For the F8 owner, we just got the free Nightweave skin. We did get the free Nightweave skin. And for those who redeemed the golden ticket, you too got the Nightweave skin. It might not be showing yet. I know mine isn't. I lie. There we go. Okay. I don't own an F8. And I can show you that. So, standalone ships. I've got a Clipper. I don't talk about that one. Yeah, I got the Prowler utility. So just check kind of down here what it contains, because sometimes it says that, but because it's been CC'd. I've got the Terrapin Medic, Atlas, MPUV, Pulse, Sulen, Ursa Medic, Guardian QI or QI, C1 Spirit, CAR, Connie Taurus, Retaliator, Perseus, Reclaimer. So confirmed, I don't own it, and I don't have it in buybacks either. I've never pledged for it. So that's where we are. Okay, I'm not going to show you buybacks because I'm embarrassed. There's some trash in there before I knew what I was doing. So that's good news. So if you've redeemed one of the golden tickets in game, they are no longer available, but you will have the Nightweave paint on its way, which is good news, and hopefully also Hangar Flare of the golden ticket has been requested through the forums, and Freya has confirmed from COG has confirmed that whilst it's not promised, she has submitted the request to the team, so they are looking at giving that as Hangar Flare, and it's such an easy fix. You remove the functionality of the rental kiosk, and you give it to people. It's that simple. That the item already exists in game, and that's a really nice thing. It's a nice thank you from CIG, and recognition that whilst they are making things easier for people to get the F8C, they are recognising those that have got it already. So there you go. You need to go in game, rent an F8C, and apply the skin to take a look at it on badges. Yeah, so what I did, if you actually look at the F8C that's on display in the halls, that is the Nightweave paint. So yeah, a good looking paint, I'll say. Draco X says, I stop upgrading ships. Sorry, that's twice. That's twice in 2 streams. I've called them shits instead of ships. That's not a Freudian slip. I'm tired. I stopped upgrading ships and turned straight up melting and buying standalone. Yeah, absolutely. Whichever one works for people. Like I say, I will never tell people what to do and not to do with their money. SC Timble, hello mate, welcome in, good to see you. Question, is it worth melting my SL Max and CCUing an LTI token to a Raylum with store credit simply because it's going up in value? Right, Demoticon, so this is a really good example. So here's what I'm going to say, right? I'm not going to tell you what you do with your money. I'm not going to tell you what's right for you. Here are the options though. Some people who want the Raylin can't afford it right now. It's just about Christmas. Not everyone has $240 whatever to drop on a JPEG ship. Like, I There are loads of reasons people can't buy one right now, and they're sat there going, "Oh crap, the price is about to go up, and I can't afford it, and that might put it out my price range permanently." For those people, all they have to do, okay, and I'll just show you this on screen for those that aren't sure, and hopefully the vets in the room will nod along. So if this is what you're after, for example, it's not going to be on there now, is it? Because it's not that part of the sale, right? God damn. Oh no, is it? Is it? Is it still there? I can't remember. It's not, right? Because it's not right. So we'll go down this side anyway. It'll just be the wrong side of the screen, but you'll get the point that I'm making. So insert lift hold music while we scroll down the this side. Am I going nuts? What's the price? I went past it, did I? The Raiden. Sorry, yes. So 225. I was expected to. So if you wanted to do this, and this is a nice example actually with where we are at the minute. So let's go back to the medic for just a second. So you can get the Terrapin medic for 200 war bond. Okay, what you could do is just use go back down again to lock it in. Is just pay a $5 upgrade from one of these ships. Okay, for the Terrapin or the Defender or the Terrapin Medic up to the Raiden. Okay, so now what would happen with that $5? What would happen with that $5 CCU? I'd say it that way. It takes on a completely different meaning. $5. Does that mean something else entirely? You know it. I know it. I don't need to say anymore. So whatever happens now, they could add a 0 to the back of the railing and make it $2,250 if they wanted to. That $5 CCU is still going to be valid. So that's one way to lock it in. The other way, what you're talking about, is potentially using the railing as a stepping stone. So if that goes up, so let's say that goes up $100. Let's go nuts. Let's give it a price increase in the realm of like the whole D. Let's say it goes up $100. What you've then done is for the price of $220 to $225, for $5, you now have a price increase of $220 to $325 for $5. And you could ride that because there's something, let's say, further up the train in the realm of $4, $5, $6, $8, $9, $7, $5 that you want. And what you've just done is saved yourself all of the money that the railing goes up. That's a reason to do it as well. So if that's what we're after, CCUing an LTI token, so you can do, if you want to, the thing I would say, so the thing that I have to remember is, am I getting a ship because I want it? Or am I getting it just because the price is going up and actually I'm going to regret melting what I've melted? All I would say is, if you're going to melt a ship, be very careful about the ones that are time limited, i.e., they are only available at certain times of the year. Like the Star Lancer, for example, will be available throughout the sales when it's ready to go. But if it's not available at all points of the year, and I can't recall off my head if it is or not, then that means you can only get it back at certain points, right? Buybacks, I think there's for the buybacks, there's the I think you can get buybacks back at any point in the year. Someone check my math on that. I don't want to give you the wrong information. So Wiggy says it was a really nice paint, but I'll be getting the F8C again in game for whatever mission COG have us do for it. Yep, so that'll be the Squadron 42. We'll open then the ability to buy that in Star Citizen once you do whatever it wants you to do. Oh, I just got the paint special sex. Mate, I'm pleased. I stopped upgrading ships and turned to straight up melting. Sorry, Jacob, I did say that. I want a heavy fighter, but I have a bunch of lights. Was hoping for the F8C. I assume when they said it would be for general sale, a CCU would come as well. I've spent way too much just to justify another. Mate, when Squadron 42 comes, there are things you can do in game that will open up the purchase in Star Citizen. For in-game cash, right? Not for real cash, for in-game cash. And likely to come with a warranty and all that sort of stuff when we get to that stage. So don't sweat it. If you're able to wait for Squadron 42 and whenever that comes, because next year's not certain, then you are going to get one anyway. So if you're willing to wait a little bit longer, mate, and it sounds like you're going to have to for the F8C, whether you like it or not, that's where I would go with that. So I'm just going to sit up a bit. For some reason, my camera's kind of gained some altitude. So, and I kind of want to show my t-shirt off here a little. So there we go. Fury, best job I ever had. There we go. Lovely jubbly. That's better. I feel like I'm not sinking slowly into my chair. That's a good thing. And the fleece, the hoodie, is just drying off a little bit after being washed. So that's why it's on the back of the chair and not on me, because I don't want to sit here soggy. But there we go. We're all good. Okay, so I'm just going to go through. Oh, no, it cannot make it that simple. It must come with a base and stand and whatever new tech to be developed to make it shiny. It's still shiny, I think. I think it's a shiny object when you put it down. So there we go. The other thing to bear in mind with that is that the F8C is not the only ship that is going to be available through Squadron 42. There are unreleased ships that will be made available in that manner. They haven't confirmed what they are yet. They haven't confirmed what they is yet, fam. But I don't know what accent that was. They did confirm when they put the F8C out for sale. They did say that this is not the only ship from Squadron that's coming out. There are others that they're not talking about yet. So bear that in mind. F7X. Very possibly. Very possibly. So there we go. 225. Yep. Sorry, people telling me I'd scrolled up chat to keep that question in place. So I missed what you said. But thank you for being helping. So Draco X says, I do have a LTI ×1 token. I plan on upgrading once I figure out what ship needs it the most. Likely capital or subcap. Yeah, that's it. Correct. Pick the closest ship that's always available for sale. And the other thing, why is it a Raylan in this stream and a Raylan in other streams? I don't know. I mean, it might be. People get the I wrong. So rail N, rail EN, Raylan. It's people say Raelian because they get the I in the wrong place. Like other streams are getting it wrong. Fight me. Fight me, Charlie. Or the other streams. Fight me. It's Raylan. Stop it. Stop getting it wrong. So there we go. I've got Taurus to Raylan because Taurus is available all year. Exactly that. And it doesn't always have to be, right? So I've looked at a couple of ships. I bought one. What's the one that I got? So I bought a couple. I know Khan's about to have an absolute fit if he's here. Khan, are you here? Check. I bought one, and I know it's going to really wind him up. So I got the Reliance Sen up to Hull A. Okay, the Reliance Sen is not available all year, but it's been there for so long, okay, that even if it goes up in price a little with the rework, the Hull A is also going up in price. It doesn't bother me. It's not a ship that I need very, very quickly. You know, it's so much so that I need to buy it at any given point, right? If I wanted to, what I'd need to do is go find another ship further on down the line, potentially the Spartan or the Nomad, that's always available to then go and do the Hull A. I just didn't want to dedicate that much credit to it. So that was literally the minimum point. And it's always that I've done that with the Hull A because I kind of like it. I kind of like the littleness of it, and I also like the fact that it can land normally. So, yeah, that's why I've done that. And if we got time, we'll go and have a look at my fleet, because my fleet has changed some, and there's the other stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, Can, if you're here. I've been buying Warbond. I've been buying CCUs without you. I know I shouldn't. I know I should be supervised. It's like day release. Want to go to the CCU store? I'm just running around like, and Can's like, no, but just come over here, and that's okay. We can identify this, and this is part of why I'm outing myself like this on stream. This is honestly part of why, guys. I tell you, I'm not qualified to sit here and tell you what to do with your money. So I'm really sorry to Nemoticon I'm glad that advice helped you, but what I can't do is tailor it to you specifically, Emoticon. I'm really glad. Emoticon says, okay, I understand. Thank you very much. I'm happy with the SL Max. Don't need a Raylan, so I won't bother. I just wondered if there was a benefit increasing the value of my hanger, respectively. If there's something you're gunning for, it might be useful to you. But if the SL Max is something that you're using and you're happy with, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't bother. That's me personally. And there are ships that at the moment that I'm quite enjoying that I won't melt. So I have the CCU chain all the way up to the medevac, right? That's built off of a C1 Spirit. It was built off other things, but I put the Spirit in when the Spirit went Warbond, and because I liked it, I'm enjoying the Spirit so much. It's in a really nice place for a couple of ships that I might want in the future. I don't want to give up the Spirit right now. It's a great daily driver. I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, if there's any chance I'm getting shot at, it's the Persis. But I like the Spirit. Spirit's really good fun. Lots of people talking about the SL Max and saying that they think it's really good. That's good. Right, Badges is correct, says Wiggy. Thank you very much. Woohoo, validation. But there we go. I bet the Gladys for Squadron 42 markings for Squadron 42. There might even be a Hornet with the engine that we see from Squadron 42. There's all sorts of stuff they could do, right? There's lots of things. There's paints that they could do. They could really incorporate it so that Squadron 42 isn't just a standalone game that feeds into the story side of Squadron, of Star Citizen in exactly the same way that Warcraft 3 fed into the story side of World of Warcraft. They could make it so much more involved, and I would really, really like for that to happen, I think. Up to and including, things in game that are reflecting what went on in Squadron. I know there's a slight time mismatch, but screw it. If you can't do it when it releases, when can you do it? Moonfly says, did we get a free paint for the F8? Yes. If you ever pledged for one, if you were ever awarded one for like concierge, or if you redeem the golden ticket at any point for the F8 or the platinum ticket, yes, you got a paint. It's yours. Enjoy. It's all good. So yes, new ticket. No apology needed. Totally agree with your take on giving advice or your opinion. Exactly the answer I needed. But great, mate. I'm really pleased. That's good news. So yeah, there we go. So Tib says, for who want a better insurance on the F8C, they just released a free upgrade with 10-inch. What? Are you talking about, Tibbs? I don't get what you. What? Right, I'm going to close this down and we're going to go back to look at the ships because we got absolutely nowhere. So there we go. Carrack is, yeah. Do you know what? It's really interesting. There were ships that I was absolutely adamant that I wanted back in the day, and this is the interesting thing about, like we said about not applying CCU chains and things like this. So I was adamant that when the Hammerhead came out that I wanted the Hammerhead. I was adamant when I saw the Carrack that I wanted the Carrack, and all this sort of stuff. And actually, what happens is obviously with anything, your tastes change over time, and that's why the danger of applying really high value CCUs that changes too, right? Because if you've got a lot of savings and you decide to melt it to get back the store credit, actually those savings are gone forever, so you can't go back that way. You'll always get back out what you put in, but you won't get any more. So if you got a $200 Carrack and you melt it, you're only going to get $200 out of it again. You don't get the full value of the ship, obviously. So that's where that is. So, oh nice, I melted the F8 on my old account, but still got the paint. I'll take the small wins. Yeah, absolutely that. And I think it's a really nice touch for them to do that. Ground vehicles, they're going to be useful at some point. Right now, I'm really struggling to see the point of them. Crucible. So those that were around yesterday remember me talking about Misk and the Endeavour and how underpriced it is. I think the Crucible, not to the same extent, but the Crucible's in the same sort of area, right? The Crucible is going to go up in price quite considerably when it gets released. It's obviously going to get a bit of a rework because that does not scream Anvil to me at all. So it'll need a bit of a rework potentially. or there'll be another mark of it again to bring it more in line. I know that'll upset people because they'll be like, no, I really like this look, and that's always a risk, it seems now. But I have a CCU up to the Crucible just for that sort of stuff. F8C Hornet Mark II, one of the most effective fighters in the game. There's that. Okay. Perfect. Tibbs, thank you very much for qualifying. So, not sure how this works. If you're unsure, go and it's in standalone ships under the F8. Good. Okay, so we'll go and have a look at that in a second. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Hadn't seen it, so that confused me a little. Yeah, one of the most effective ships in the game at the moment, Mark II and then Super Hornet. They're doing really well. They are absolutely slapping. If you want current meta, go for it. Just bear in mind that meta will change day in, day out, and you're never guaranteed to keep it. But still, really good looking ships. I really like the Hornet lineup. The Hornet commercial was the first commercial I saw for the game, and it still has a special place in my heart. You know, the one that starts out as legendary fighter pilot Ari O'Reilly once said, give me a fully loaded Hornet and I'll shake the gates of heaven. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. I'll go and find out. Do you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. For those that haven't seen, for those that came since the Hornet came out and never saw the Anvil Hornet commercial.
Legendary fighter pilot Ari O'Reilly once said, give me a fully loaded Hornet, and I'll shake the gates of heaven.
I'm not getting set. Are you guys getting set?
Anvil Aerospace's Hornets have faced Vandal, Xi'an, pirates, and criminals.
Fixed it. There's lots of people questioning why a Hornet is running from an Aurora. This alarm sound is just Chef's kiss.
Anvil Aerospace's Hornets have logged more combat time and kills in more theaters than any other ship in the history of space combat.
Listen to what he says when he lands.
Battle-tested in the harshest conditions, the Hornet has proven time and again its ability to withstand damage and still be able to dish it out. With all the punishment it handles on a daily basis, don't you think the new Hornet can handle yours?
Honey, I got the ice cream you wanted.
Doom was on a shopping run. It's just rude.
Anvil's new Hornet F8C. See your authorized ship dealer for options.
Yeah, that cool. And so you're aware, that commercial is 12 years old. How good is that? No, I just, those old commercials, some of them were just chef's kiss. So yeah, like that a lot. And that's where we go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what ice cream that was, but it was obviously laced with like cocaine or something. There we go, demonetized. So yeah, and then the upgraded ships, the Hornets. And there we go. The F8C. And did someone say in standalone ships? So it's not in here, right? We'll go and have a look in a second. But there you go. Again, no upgrade options. You are buying this outright, whether you like it or not. Or you're buying it with store credit, right? You can still do store credit for this one. But yeah, there's no upgrade option. Gladiator, I actually quite rate this as a ship. And I really like the idea that they've taken the Hornet and turned it into something heavier. Yes, its aesthetic needs a little bit of a do-over 100%. However, there's something about that ship that really, really speaks to me. I like the dual role fighter bomber in that. It's very kind of dual role World War II carrier vibes, and I like it. So yeah, I did my F8 by store credit, says Kempy. Awesome, and welcome in, by the way. Same to you, CG1605. The new F8, the F8C paint is cool. Absolutely, and for those that want or like to look at the paint, if you don't have the F8C, or you don't have the paint, you can head to the Expo Hall, find the Lightning. It's in the Nightwave paint. So there we go. Hawk. I had the Hawk for a long old time. You remember when you could lock friends in it and they couldn't get out? I never did that. Honest. But the one thing I really like about the Hawk, again, this has its own commercial as well, is the idea that you can fold it and land Blade Runner style in the middle of the street. And if we ever get the game to the point where you can do that, oh my god, yes, I'd absolutely like to do that. So there we go. Just going back and catching up on some of the comments. I borrowed someone's character to see if I wanted the purchase of Galaxy as the character as the loner, and I kept dying to the elevators and doors. Deadliest ship in the game. Elevators, Star Citizens, Final Box. Mark, excellent. Good to see you, my friend. Try the Storm at AA sometime. Interesting. Still have my Crucible. Who knows when we'll get it. It's going to be a long old time, I think. It's going to be a long old time. So, yeah. I was able to repurchase an F8C even though I had one in buybacks. Yes. So I think you'll only ever be able to have one in your account. That sorry. They're not. Are they limited to one per account? But yeah, that. So there we go. Making me crave ice cream, says Bingo. Yeah, absolutely. It's situational if you're in combat adjacent, and the Crucible will be way more valuable than an area near bases. Yeah, exactly that. And, of course, not for 1.0 because they're all populated systems. But as more systems get added and as they get faster at doing that, there'll be systems where there are no. They're kind of like expedition systems, right? That's the beauty of having plans for 100 plus 110, 111 systems. Is that you can basically have the system that is like that. The high risk, high reward, you go in, there is no support. Areas that make ships like the Odyssey and that absolutely 100% viable. And then opens the doors for competitor ships in that area that people can buy. Once the game's released, continue that kind of process of buying ships to fund the game via a subscription model. So yeah, try low carb diet and exercise, very important when you get older. No, all doing fit gets you is 2 years of incontinence pants tagged onto your end of your life, and I refuse to go out like that. I'm going to wait till I'm 60 and go out in a stripper and cocaine-induced frenzy. Fuck your fitness. Please note that these views are mine and mine alone and shouldn't be taken as advice, guidance, or generally a very good idea. But there you go. Sounds good. That trailer gives me flashbacks. Dr. Pepper, Dr. Peppy, I'm really glad that it did. I love it as well. If I'm getting attacked or hunted by an Aurora, I'm going to quit the game, says Avi. I'm going to go hunt you in an Aurora, and if you don't quit the game, I'm going to call you a liar. Lots. There you go. Slowest missile ever. Absolutely. Lots of love for the old 300i stuff. Also for the old 300 series. If you need to go through hell to get your ice cream, it better be damn good ice cream, or you need a new shop to buy it from, or your wife says go get the ice cream. Charlie knows where it's at. Charlie's been there. So there we go. Carlton Whitfield, welcome in, my friend. I desperately want them to make the Gladiator great, and I fear they never will. No, absolutely. I'm sure it's going to get better though. Again, born out of my hope that these ships, that they will do a good job of balancing these ships. They have the lifetime of SC to get it right. So they need to obviously do a much better job than they're doing now. But rebalancing at the moment is kind of like, trying to clean a house that's still being built. It's pointless. All you're going to do is trash your Hoover. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen for the moment. But yeah, the Hawk is something that I'll definitely look at going back to as and when, if you do get that ability to land in streets and that sort of stuff, and because it folds up so nicely, and it's got a very aggressive silhouette, and it's great. Hurricane, loads of fun for two people. That, and obviously that applies to the ships like the Scorpius and stuff as well. Loads of fun for two people. Legionnaire. This is something else I need to add back onto my list of ships that I'm interested in. Incredibly niche use, right? To be in that situation where you've got enough people. Obviously, the Legionnaire itself isn't going to be enough to cripple or to make get a ship to the point where it can be boarded safely by the Legionnaire. So it's only going to be in big combats. It's going to be a very rare use case. But holy crap, are you guys going to feel exceptionally cool when doing it, attaching on, people going in and boarding the ship. That moment where you attach, the guys on board are lining up on the other side to try and repel you. They need some sort of blast interior thing so that when you open it, they don't just fill a drop bay full of grenades and kill everyone in it, because that would be pointless. So they need some sort of defense there, and maybe something you can shoot over or shoot through, like a vision slit. That would be really cool. Maybe even a mounted gun, like one of the minigun things. But there's so much cool stuff they could do with the Legionnaire. If you remember, the Legionnaire looked like it was going to release a little while ago, and it's not been released because its gameplay doesn't exist, right? The hacking of boarding permission and the docking collar to docking collar thing. So the Legionnaire, I think, is probably ready. It's just going to be a long time before we get it. Liberator. Everyone knows that I'm not a fan of this ship. I am going to clarify right now my stance on the Liberator once and for all. I agree with half of this ship's role. It is a transport. It is not a light carrier. Yes, you can fly from it, just like you can fly from anything within internal space, right? You can fly a Dragonfly out the back of a Freelancer. It doesn't make it a carrier. Same this thing, right? And people are going to go, yeah, it carries stuff. Yeah, sure. So does the Drake Cutter. It carries stuff. It's not a carrier. Carriers are designed for sustained flight operations, and this doesn't have that. Okay, so the idea is that you can put up a pair of fighters, wingman, they can work together, and then before they come back and you land them, another pair can go off, and you can have that in constant cycle. What you don't have with this, for a whole bunch of reasons, is you don't have the crew space for it. You don't have the ability to fly them off. They're not protected when you land them on. There's just loads of, even the Kraken, right? It has the internal bays. You can go and put stuff in, and yeah, it's not that. So there is that. What it is a shipping ship. It's going to be great at taking stuff places. You can absolutely use it to fly stuff off of, 100%. But I hate the fact they call it a deep strike light carrier. It just doesn't perform that role for me. That's it. Do I think that therefore that it's a rubbish ship? No. It looks like, if the other ships are Lego, this looks like the budget one. This looks like Duplo, right? It's too large, too chunky. Everything on it is they just did large concept objects on it, bolted them on, and then never refined them down. And I think that will likely change. There'll be a lot more detail on the hull once it gets released. But that's where I am with the Liberator. And I won't even say change my mind, because you can't. I'm sorry, I'm just inflexible on this. It's not a carrier. For those that don't know, for those that I'm seeing for the first time, because we're up to 98, we were up to 101 people in this stream, which I think is the first time I've broken 3 figures on a stream. So thank you ever so much, everyone in here. That happened because you're here. So thank you ever so much. I'm really, really pleased that that's happened today. Jambo Tech, good to see you, my friend. Second cut, welcome in. Rusty Pigeon, good to see you back. Yeah, so that's awesome. For those that don't know, I am actually, despite the chunk, I'm an ex-Royal Navy warfare officer. I was in the Navy for just under 12 years on ships like Illustrious. So, and I have been to visit the Queen Elizabeth, although I can't post photos because she's still very new, and obviously with all the international tensions and stuff, they're not happy with the idea of me posting photos. I wanted to take photos in the hangar. They told me I couldn't. So yes, so this is one of the parts of my channel is I talk about things from a military naval perspective. And the Perseus will be getting that treatment at some point in the next couple of weeks when I manage to sleep normally. Marcus, welcome back. Good to see you, my friend. Jordan Espinoza, good to see you. Am I buying the Liberator? No, absolutely not. Matt P, thank you ever so much, my friend. Yeah, that's quite an achievement. I'm really, really pleased. Paladin still has its upgrade offer because it's come out, right? So you've still got the upgrade on it if you want it, which is really cool. I'm really pleased that that's still available for people if they want it, and the options obviously $25 off if that's what you want, which is why. Okay. There we go. So, there's the Paladin. Del, I'm not even reading that. I know you're just going to wind me up. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. CIG said Liberator carried ships to be manually refueled rearms, whereas the Kraken, for example, will be a lot more automated functions. This is part of the difference on why Liberator is not a true carrier. Very, very possibly. So, yeah, I think it's, like I say, it's about the sustainability. Does that mean that if you have to refuel it yourself manually, it's certainly part of it, right? The turnaround time. I think it's the ability to have enough crew to keep the aircraft up, the ability to have them protected, because if they're all just bolted to the outside and could be damaged by fire, you're not protecting them so much. Like you think of a hangar, you've got the hangar deck internal where you can put fighters out of the way and protect them, repair them, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and God knows how it's going to work. Walking around on the outside of that thing to rearm, repair, refuel fighters, whilst you're moving. Like, how's that going to work in quantum? Does that mean that all that time you're going to spend in quantum, you just can't do anything with the fighters on the deck? There's far too many questions. Far too many questions. So there you go. Absolutely not. If it's star kit and I'm not touching it. Sylvain says, did you get to be the ship CO? No. So I was an officer of the watch, and my final job was as a second navigator. So I was an officer of the watch. So I was often the senior person awake. My watches were 12 till 4, as in 12, till 4 in the afternoon, and then 12 till 4 in the wee small hours of the night. So that was my job, being on the bridge, getting it from A to B. I was the person working the chart, and then later something they call WECDIS, which is the electronic charting system. So paper charts. Remember the stuff you see in the Navy, you get the pointy leg man making walk on the screen or walk on the chart table. We don't do that anymore. We certainly don't get it to walk on the screen. We've now changed over to that, but that was my job. I was the guy giving orders on the bridge, and I was what they call the action officer of the watch. So every time we went to action stations, which is battle stations in American speak, I was the person driving the ship, so I'd be the headset on and all that sort of stuff. So that's my kind of experience. Lots of experience driving ships, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but I was very good at it. I was very good at the physical art of moving ships around, of manoeuvring for incoming aircraft, that sort of stuff. So that was my bailiwick, as you might say. So there's that. Have you tried yet applying a paint over your star kit in Dragonfly? I haven't, because I don't have any Dragonfly paints. And the thing with buying paints to sell them to put them into buybacks is, of course, it's 24 hours to do that. So I might well, but I think the star kit. I think the Dragonfly paints are available all the time. There is a livery option for it, but it doesn't show anything equipped, which it wouldn't do because it's factory. So yeah, I don't know. All I can tell you is I can't get rid of it, I can't gift it, and I can't upgrade it. And that makes me sad. So there. So yeah. The Lib would never be combat missions on its own, and that's the other thing that bothers me about this ship, right? Is that, and I say bothers me about the ship. It bothers me about how CIG have marketed this ship, right? So if you go down why is that? Why are you landing them in a war zone? They're just gonna die. Like what? What are you talking about, CIG? They're just, that's not a good place to be. If you are landing them so close that the Tonk is engaging, you're too close. You are far too close. But anyway, there we go. So there's that. Anyway, rant off. Paladin, great ship, loads of people having fun with it. Spartan, am I the only one that wants to see a like an Atlas Titan suit version of this? Am I the only one? Is that the thing? That was landing during the Mesa era. Yeah, well, they didn't care. Dell, go away. It was basically who the hell held the sextant and the wheel. So yes to the sextant, no to the wheel. Someone else did that. This is called the quartermaster, and they drove the ship. I gave the orders to them to maneuver. So yeah. I'm in the same boat as you for now. Royal RCN Canadian, yeah. Warfare officer, but I'll never be CO. No, I won't be because I left. And also, I joined up with expectations like I want to be a commander. I want to command a warship, and it took me all of about 2 years in the fleet as trade strength to go. No, that's far too much hard work. Why would I want to do that? I value my sleep too much, and I spent far too long on the horn to the captain. As on the horn means on comms, nothing else. Stop it. Too many Navy jokes. YMCA. But you know, giving him shipping reports and that sort of stuff over comms, and that's not a good place for them to be. So yeah, Badger should sacrifice the Kitty Dragon to Benny Henge. That should solve the issue. I mean, yeah, the problem is I get rid of it and it keeps coming back. It just sits there in my ASOP terminal. It's driving me mad. But there we go. So there we go. So there is a standalone insurance for the F8C. We're going to go find that in just a second. Terrapin. Terrapin is massively underrated. I love this ship. I think it's awesome. Because when scanning comes and they get into the sweet spot with scanning and that need for intelligence, I tell you what, nothing will force multiply, will make your forces more effective, in other words, than good intelligence. That knowing where your opponents are, what they're made up of, how to deal with them, making that decision. Do you engage or do you evade? All that sort of stuff. Nothing is as useful for you as intelligence, and the Terrapin is going to provide that in spades. So, yes. Terrapin Medic, talked about, love it, absolutely love it. The Valkyrie, I feel, is in a bit of a tough spot right now. Yes, it's got lots of vehicle kind of use to it, but the dropship space, I feel, is becoming a little bit congested, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. You know, against the Star Lance attack and stuff like that, that there really is a bit of a struggle for the Valkyrie. I think, again, if someone said I had to make a case for it, my case for the Valkyrie is that vehicle space in the back and the sheer versatility of vehicle loadouts for it. And yes, people go, well, that, you know, you've got things like the Hercules can do that, the Asgard can do that, all that sort of stuff. Yes, that's why I say it's in a tough spot. Great stuff. So, it better not have been removed. Are you joking, Tibbs, or are they being mean, or what? Valk is fun, fully crewed. I'm really sure it is. Yeah, the Valk's, it's in a better spot. I don't doubt it. But yeah, it didn't feel like it was in a particularly good spot. Where are we on? Ships? Is that what we were after? Is that where we're supposed to be? Is it gone? You're kidding. No, it can't be. Surely. Did they remove it? Cheeky buggers. View offers. Wow. I'm really sorry then. If anyone was waiting, I'm sorry. That's crap. How could they? How could they? That's just wow. That's rude. That's very rude. Druka, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's where we are with those. Oh, hang on. I'm going to go back to the lib. Hang on. Bear with me. Where's the IAE stuff? There we go. Found it. Found it. We're all good. So yeah, so that's where we are with those. I mean, we come to the end anyway, right? Because we got to the Valkyrie and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, you had one chance only. Yeah, that's the tracker SC notification says the F8C insurance upgrade was just removed. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So yeah, hopefully they go and do that and apply that for a bunch of people. Draven Shade, Gruka, all the new faces, welcome in. Good to see you all. Thank you for popping in. We've just had a talk through all the ships. We've had a look at the Terrapin Medic in terms of its war bond and the fact that you can get $20 off it if you want to. And we've had a talk through some of the other ships as well. I think what I'll do is I'll probably leave it until after tomorrow. So after Grey Cat Day, and we'll have a chat about where my fleet is. So let's have a look at the schedule. Let's have a look at what we've got for the rest of the week. So we've got Anvil, we've got Grey Cat, Argo, and Consolidated Outland, and then we're into Crusader and Tumbrel land systems. So on the 27th, 28th, which is what, 2 days away, so Thursday. Is that right? We'll do that. Now I know it's Thanksgiving for people, so I that's right, yeah. American colleagues, check my math. Thursday, Thanksgiving, right? Hey, filthy colonials, I'm talking to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Those that know me know I don't mean it, but it's a little bit of fun. Yes, it is. Fantastic. Cool. I'm sorry. I'm in a lot of trouble now. Everyone's gone near two. I'm gonna watch concurrent viewers drop off by about half. So Thursday is Thanksgiving. But what I will do is I'll have a quick chat about the fleet and what's changed, because some stuff has changed. We've got some SCUs. Sorry, Can, I went and bought them without you. We have some CCUs. SCUs? CCUs. Good lord, I am losing the ability to communicate. We got some CCUs happening, and other. We've got some ships arrive. I'm not looking at anyone in particular in chat. You know who you are. So there's other ships as well, and we're going to have a go with that. Do you know what? Funny enough, the MPUV is on my list of ships to buy. This IE, and I know it's going to freak people out. But there's a very specific reason I need one. It's a project that you will probably find out about in the new year. I'm very excited to deliver it. It's just going to take some time because it's in the realms of stuff I've never done before. So I'm learning as I go. But there we go. Monster Avian, my guess is just going to get an auto applied. Stupid to make people apply for something. Yes, it is. And look, if they bring it back and force people to do it, then I will put something out on the thingy. I mean, they better make it available for the whole for the whole event, right? If they're doing that, they need to make that specific thing available for the whole event and just keep it as available. Otherwise, that's a pain in the ass. Any CCU wishes for the final IE days, says Dr. Pepix. Mate, good question. Very good question. Sewing lessons. No, I know how to sew already. Sorry. I'm not very good at it, but I can if I need to. Back in the days of uniform patch repairs, because middle of the ocean is not a good place to get your Amazon delivery or your uniform delivered. Get an Idris, it comes with one. Well, yeah, I might not be picking up the Idris on Aegis Day, but yeah, we'll see. And obviously, I know this is going to upset a lot of people, but Anvil Aerospace, no cap ships and no limited hull sales. Sorry, guys. Wop wop. There will be one tomorrow though when the Pioneer arrives. So this is the problem: is every time I move over one of these things, there you go, the video stops. So I'm going to stop that because it's flashing so much, it's giving me pains. Hopefully, it's not upsetting any of you guys. Hey Luna, yeah, we'll just repeat the stream. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, I'm kind of gushing because we're up to over 100 people on the stream, and I am incredibly excited. So while I have you all a captive audience, there is a link to the Discord in the description below. And once IAE is over, I will be streaming every Sunday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time. So UTC, GMT. Go have a look. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. You don't need to join anything to join the Discord. You don't need to pop out of a org. You can be if you want, but you can join there if you want to. In reference to the rest of the week, it's very, very likely that Saturday I won't be streaming. Now, it's not going to be a huge issue because Saturday's just going to be the best in show stuff. Okay, so don't be shocked that I might not be here, but I've had a very kind offer to go see some friends, go put up Christmas decks and stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing that day. I'm really looking forward to it. So I won't be around, but I will be back in time for the finale and chatting to you guys there as well. I think, if I remember rightly, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at the comm links. Am I going to get flashbanged? Is there a flashbang incoming? No flashbang, sad face. This week in Star Citizen, I think there is a Q&A. Am I right in saying that there's a Q&A? Star Citizen Live on Thursday with the content design and vehicle teams discussing all the new ships unveiled at IE 2955. Post your questions now on Spectrum. So I think very possibly we'll have a look at that. Tomorrow we've got a Behind the Ships coming with Greycat, so we'll watch that as well. And the Talking Shop stuff, I've abandoned the podcast thing. I couldn't get past the trailer. So there we go. C1 versus Zeus ES. Do you know what? Yeah, I mean, that's it. Is the ES. Neil's got it right. ES is an Explorer. You want the cargo variant, which is the CL, right? Yeah. That's your comparison. I think that's down to personal taste, to be honest. Today is Anvil. Yes, it is, Luna. And the War Bond is the Terrapin Medic. I was expecting the Liberator. Got it wrong. Happy to admit it. But yes, that's where we were with that. So yeah, Idris is too big for me solo. It would be nice as a base. We've got a short coming out at some point in the near future when I can actually get my finger out and put it together. We went to see how many wolves, wolf and alpha wolf, we could fit into the Idris, and the answer might surprise you. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I know people don't massively enjoy shorts, or some people don't massively enjoy shorts, but it's just not big enough to warrant a full video. So there we go. Yeah, that's that. So we'll watch the Star Citizen Live thing again. We'll see you on Twitch. So we'll go live slightly early. So we'll probably go 15 minutes before that. We'll watch the Star Citizen Live, and then we'll go straight into the change of the store page. If needs be, we can pause the Star Citizen Live and then just continue with it. So yeah, it'll be really good to have you there for that stuff as well. That is probably around about it. I'm not going to go, because of the streaming, I'm on one PC, so I stream and render on the same PC. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go to the expo hall just for the sake of showing off the night we've pink. I'll let you guys discover that by yourselves, and hopefully you'll really enjoy it. So that's where we go from there. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I'm just going to see. Yeah, so that's the upgrade link. Thanks for that for Tibbs. It's still down as of now. But as you can see here, F8 to F8C with 10-year insurance upgrade. So if you own the F8, you can pick that up if you need to. We're hoping that that's just come down as an error, or that they're now going to apply it to everyone that doesn't already have 10-year insurance. We'll see. I would imagine there's some stuff in live chat, right, where they're saying that was a bit of a shitbag move, CIG. And to be honest, they wouldn't be wrong. So, yeah. Talking ships, unfortunately, was too annoying for me for a few reasons. Perhaps others enjoy it, but I couldn't get more than a couple of minutes before switching it off. Do you think the Pioneer is ready, says Gemotech? No, I don't. I think they're still working on it. I think As such a big ship, I think it's still being worked on. I don't think it's far off, but I think we won't see it until, well, I don't think it will be ready until next year, and then it'll be whenever base building comes in. I'm kind of disappointed they were lazy and didn't do ship rotations in the Expo this year. Yeah, a lot of people have remarked on the same. You'd be unsurprised to know. It is what it is, I guess. Maybe it's just because the changing over of the halls and everything else, maybe that was just they weren't willing to provide the server load to it. But I get it. The problem is so many of us have been in the game for so long. We go to the expo hall and we're like, hey, it's fine. We want to see the new stuff and that's it. I feel kind of sad for the people who like going and seeing it every year, regardless of how many times they see the same ships, and for the new starters. It's a free fly. There are going to be a lot of people in the game right now who are free flying, and won't have seen all those ships, and now they can't because of that choice at the expo. It'll be an interesting question to ask as to why they made that choice, but there you go. Pioneer is waiting for tech and gameplay. It is indeed. I think at the very least it needs the fabrication side of things, and I don't think you're going to get the fabricating ships with it right off the bat. I think the fabricating is going to be very basic. In fact, they've kind of said as much. Yeah, I'm kind of mad we can't force the stations to give the Perseus a hangar instead of a port, the docking port. Agree 100%. I'm right there with you. Release the Liberator 2026. There's no reason they can't. There's absolutely no reason they can, and it's in working, right? So I don't see why it would take more than 2026 to do it. And when they hinted at CitizenCon Direct about those missions where you could go and you could do landing, repair, rearm, refuel on the hangars of ships, I think the Liberator was one of the ships they're talking about. I guess next year might be more the year of transport ships for vehicles, more systems and further travel distance for little ones, very potentially. Man, the performance is poor still during free flies. They need to stop doing them during events. Yeah, I mean, running into the Vision Center for me is rough. It's very rough. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That unfortunately is something that they seem to keep doing, and there's not really much that we've said that has changed their minds on that. But there we are. Like I said, if you want to join the Discord, link in the description below. If you want to come along on the streams on Sunday, absolutely love to have you at 9 till 11 UK time. And of course, I will be back tomorrow, same time, about a quarter of an hour before the store changes, to talk through everything and the Grey Cat MDC, which, if you're interested, is already in the expo hall if you want to go and take a sneak peek. New hotfix is also released, so there you go. It's been good. Fantastic. Good to see you all. And like I say, hope to see you all tomorrow. That would be good too. You've been watching Drinkers with Gaming Prompts. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.